Welcome back to my night routine. This is my night routine after work, and I either work from home or I work from the office, but today was one of those days where I work from the office. I try to leave a little after 5 just because I want to avoid traffic, and then when I come home, I feel like I am just on an automated schedule. I drop my bag off, take my jacket or sweater off, and I go to my room, close my blinds because as you can see, I am facing kind of like a highway situation, and then I change into my comfy PJs. I don't know about you, but if I don't change right away, it just doesn't feel right. I'll then sit on the couch and watch TV. I've actually been watching the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I have been loving it. I haven't seen the movie since I was really young. Honestly, I was probably too young to watch that movie when I did, but that didn't stop my elementary school self to watch Angelina and Brad. Anyways, I start by cooking dinner. I like to eat around 7, but I'm gonna be honest, sometimes it is a little later depending on when I come home from work, and I order Sunbasket every single week. I love it because it just brings the pre-portioned ingredients to my apartment, and no, this is not sponsored. I truly love using it. I didn't want to use one of these meal delivery kits for the longest time because I thought that they were more expensive. I felt like I was going to get lazy, or I wouldn't, it was not worth it. But honestly, they save me so much time. They save me money because cooking for one can be very expensive. And the meals are delicious. If I were just to go to the grocery store, I always make the most basic meals, and so these meals are actually really, really good. Like today, I'm cooking this Korean beef thing. I'm really bad at describing it. I forgot what the name was. But as I was cooking the steak, I like to do my dishes and put my dishes away so that when I'm done cooking, I don't really have that much to clean. And it was pretty easy dinner. I just had the steak cook, have the rice cook, and then sauteed all of the vegetables and put it all together. And it took me like 30 minutes max. But I like to eat my dinner in front of the TV. I know that's not the healthiest, but it is what it is. I'm living alone. This is what I like to do. So I was watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith as I was eating this delicious dinner, and then I will clean up the rest of my kitchen. So I feel like my life is constantly cleaning my kitchen. Like I unload my dishwasher in the morning. I load the dishwasher throughout the day. I clean the counters. It's just a never-ending world of cleaning your kitchen. And then I'll have some me time and I'll sit on the couch on my phone while I'm watching TV. And then once I'm ready for bed, I'll go into my bathroom and do my skincare routine. I have been very open and honest with you about my skincare routine, or just about my skin in general, and I have suffered with adult hormonal acne for the past 2 years, I would say, and my skin has finally gotten to a place where it is clearing up. I think it has to do with the simplification of my skincare routine. I will double cleanse at night, I will use an exfoliating pad, and then I will put my moisturizer on, and then I brush my teeth. I also use a vitamin C serum. I did forget about that, but it's very, very simple. And then in the morning, if you guys want to watch my morning routine, but in the morning, I actually will just spray my face with rose water. I don't even wash my face in the morning. I know some of you are probably like, what the heck? That has seriously cleared my skin. I also do have to say it's also due to my supplements, which I can get into in a little bit if you guys are curious about that. But I'll try to clean up my clothes from my bed. I'm not gonna lie, I don't do this every night. Sometimes I just am so tired, I just cannot wait to get into bed. And then what I actually like to do before bed is a little bit of work, which I know you're probably like, this is not relaxing. One of the things that I typically end up working on before bed are my videos, and if you haven't noticed, I have been trying to get better at editing and being consistent, so I'm excited to start using storyblocks. Storyblocks is a stock media subscription service with a vast library of stock video images, audio, and sound effects. It provides access to unlimited royalty-free assets for creators like myself, which helps me enhance my videos without worrying about copyright issue or extra costs, which, if you didn't know, that is actually insane, having access to unlimited downloads with no extra costs or fees and just one subscription costs. If you noticed, I did use them in the intro. I used the stock videos of Miami so that I can tell a better story and captivate my audience right away, and I'd love to know what you think about the editing. Whether I'm searching for the perfect background music or adding motion graphics, Storyblocks has everything I need to bring my creative vision to life. And if you're a fellow content creator looking looking to elevate your content without breaking the bank, then I highly recommend checking out Storyblocks. You can head over to get unlimited stock downloads at one price at storyblocks.com/Natalie Barbu, or click the link in my description. After I'm done working, I will go into my kitchen and I will make sure that I take my supplements. This is another thing that has definitely been clearing my skin, and I attribute the main thing to Armra Colostrum, which is what you see me making right here. Ever since I've started taking it, and I take it twice a day, it has literally made my skin so much clearer. And this is the week before my period, and this is the week that I will typically break out, and all I have is one pimple on my jaw that I probably made worse because I picked at it, so I'm not gonna complain. It is 9 p.m. and I am in bed. I typically don't go to sleep until like 10:30, I would say, but I like to be in bed by 9 because I always hope that I can fall asleep a little later, and if not, I can at least read and go to sleep that way. Or sometimes I do opt to scroll on my phone and like scroll TikTok. Whenever I scroll TikTok, I don't end up going to bed until a little bit later because it is so freaking addicting. I always get the ad that's like, are you scrolling instead of sleeping? And I just scroll right on past it. I actually think I'm going to read. I have been reading Iron Flame, so I just finished Fourth Wing and I really loved it. I am not a fantasy fiction reader, but I have heard such amazing things about it, and I also did used to like fantasy, like when I was younger. I think in my head I've equated it to being juvenile, and so that's why I haven't read Fourth Wing or Iron Flame or like A Court of Thorn and Roses, is that what it's called? Because I think it's like for little kids, but it's definitely not. Like there was some spicy scenes in Fourth Wing. I actually really did like it. I thought it was such a good book and it was pretty addicting. It took me a little bit to read though, like a few days, just because of how thick it is. But I just started Iron Flame this weekend. Once I finish Iron Flame, that will be my 7th book of the year. I do try to read before bed. Sometimes reading will keep me up at night also, like if it's a really, really good book, especially fiction. So like I said, I used to think fantasy was a little juvenile, but for the longest time I also thought fiction was too. Like I was like, oh, I can't read fiction because that's like for kids, which is so stupid of me to think. Now I've pretty much like exclusively read fiction this year. I do have a lot, I mean, I love nonfiction too, but there's just not as many that interest me, and sometimes I don't want to learn, I just want to like escape, you know? And that's why I have been really liking fiction, but I'll probably try to read for just a few minutes, and honestly I would really like to go to bed by 10, like be asleep by 10. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I turned the AC down. I have to sleep with my AC at 69 degrees, sometimes 68 degrees, but usually 69, and it's like the perfect chilly room temperature where I can like snuggle under the covers. Fun fact, that is a Hinge prompt for me, is what is the ideal room temperature at night. And I kind of want to change it because I literally do not care what people say. Like it's not an answer that makes me get to know them. It's just something that people can respond to. But let me know what I should change it to, because it's giving so boring, but I know that that's like a heated discussion. You know, couples are always like, oh, like he likes it so cold and I like it warm, blah, 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 blah. So that's why I put that there, because I know it's like an easy response, but it's like so freaking boring. Like if someone says 70, if someone says 67, if someone says 68, like I'm not learning anything about you. I think it's the most boring prompt ever. So help me pick out something else. Anyways, I'm about to read and then hopefully go to bed in my cute little pajamas.